Hi all, in this video I'm going to teach you how to make a simple 8-step value scale that will help you understand the tonal range that your pencils are able to create. All right, I've already created 2. We'll use them as references and I'll kind of pull them back in the mix at the end. I had made one with our darkest pencil in our kit, which is the 8B, and the lightest and hardest pencil in our kit, which is the 4H. So I think for this tutorial, I'm going to choose our pencil grade that sits right in the middle. If I can find it, our good old hard black HB, and then we'll be able to compare it to the other 2 at the end. All right. So to start, what I want you to do is create 8 vertical lines. I want you to start on the edge of your paper that's opposite your drawing hand. We're going to be pulling the value gradients this way, and this will keep you from rubbing through your work and not being able to see your process the whole time. So I'm a lefty, so I'm going to start on the right side of my paper. Do the opposite side if you're right-handed. Okay? Once you've oriented yourself on the paper, on the side that's opposite your drawing hand, I want you to start drawing 9 vertical lines that reach from the top to the bottom. Don't worry if they're a little wiggly. Mine certainly are. Try to have them about half an inch to an inch apart. 1, 2, 2 more, 8, 9. All right, now starting back from the edge you started, number them from 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to position the tip of your pencil over on that far edge of column number 1, space number 1. We're going to start our value gradient, but we actually want to create tone instead of lines. So we want to get as much of the tip of this pencil in contact with our paper surface as we can. So that might mean changing the way you hold your pencil a little bit. I actually kind of like to do it where all of my fingers are above the pencil and I put my pointer finger very close to the tip, just like this. And then with a movement up and down, and then pulling back, you want to make contact with the paper just with enough pressure to make a mark, not pushing into the fiber at all. And we slowly create a tonal strip. So this is just by applying 1 layer of pencil tone to the paper and using that broad side of the pencil tip to do so. All right, that led me back, and I'm going to stop at number 8. It actually made me forget I should label this gradient scale with the pencil so I know what pencil made it. 8 HB, right like that. Okay, now we're going to create the next value step by adding a second layer of pencil tone. So I'm going to start at the right edge of number 2 here. I'm going to keep my pencil at that same angle so the whole tip of the lead makes contact, but I'm not going to shift the pressure that I'm using. We want to just patiently layer these values, allowing the marks to sort of accumulate one on top of the other to create our value scale. This prevents stress on the paper fiber, and also prevents the graphite of the pencil to actually from starting to burnish, which means it flattens under the pressure that you place on it. As graphite burnishes, it actually becomes slicker and shinier. So I'm just adding to this gradient one layer at a time, but not changing the pressure. I just finished value level 3. I'm going to go to the edge of level 4. Sometimes it's a little hard to see as you go over, so you can restate it. And again, same process. Sometimes the value shifts are a little subtle, but I can tell at number 4 it is looking a little bit darker than number 3 did, so I'm going to start at number 5. As you do this yourself, you will notice there's a textural difference as you move from harder pencils to softer, blacker ones. The higher clay content makes them move a little bit more smoothly over the paper, but also kind of it holds their line. The blacker ones will actually kind of show a little bit more of that underlying paper fiber, but will become much, much richer. All right, I just finished 5. The value shift between 4 and 5 is really quite subtle. We might be getting close to hitting our value limit, but I'm going to keep going and see. We're still getting a little bit of a change on value number 6. At a certain point, depending on the hardness of the pencil, as we start layering, even though you're adding more value, you won't see a change. I think we might have just hit it right here between 6 and 7. You can see there isn't much value change. I'm going to go ahead and do 8 as well. So this is 8 layers of value. And it's getting a little bit darker, but not much. I'm going to go ahead and just give it 9 just to show you. With every pencil, there is a limit on its tonal range. And so when you start layering that pencil and seeing that you are no longer getting a shift in value, it means it's time, and you want to go darker, it means it's time to pick up the next blacker pencil on your value scale. If we look at our 3 gradients at this point, we can see that our 8B, even though it started at a darker place from the start, was most able to have, with each subsequent layer, a distinctly darker value. The HB was able to maintain distinct value shifts until around 5, 6, and 7. But if we look down at the 4H, although it allowed it to be much lighter at the start, we see we hit our limit of value change right around 3 or 4. So if I hit that limit, that means this is about as dark or gray as I should ever ask this pencil to make, and I should go ahead and try a 2H if I want to get darker, or an H or an HB, depending on how rich you want that drawing to get. All right, most drawers draw with at least 3 or 4 pencils in their hand, and before they apply them to their drawings, they really get to know them sort of on the side, on the border of their drawing. They'll make a little gradient just like this, so they kind of know what their pencil can do before they ask it to do it in their real work. I hope this helps. Hope you enjoyed it. Happy drawing.